We now have less than 2 months left of the year 2025, which is just insane. So I think it is time to talk about my 10 before the end. And if you don't know what that means the 10 books that I want to complete before the end of the year. So kind of like the rest of my year TBR-ish, I guess. Now, I'm not putting any pressure on myself to read these 10 books, but they are books, some of them, that I said at the beginning of the year that I wanted to read. So, it would be really nice to get to a number of these. I'm going to start out with, honestly, like half of these. Almost half of them are continuations of series that I've already started, and I hate being in the middle of series and like starting new ones. So I have a few series that I would really like to complete so I can, move on to others. So the first one we're going to talk about, my first book on my 10 before the end, is the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. This is the second book in her first interconnected trilogy. They are contemporary romances, and so yeah, I read the first one in August, I want to say, but of course September and October are set aside exclusively for like Halloweeny, spooky, cozy fall time books. And this is the only one on this list that I've actually started. I'm just over halfway through this. I've been listening to it on audio and actually really enjoying it. I enjoyed the first one. I really enjoy her writing. They're also like not super fluffy romances, so it's been a good read, and they are interconnected. But even when series are interconnected standalones, I have to read them in order. I can't just like jump into one random one because there is still a story behind them all, so yeah. This one we follow a woman, and I'm not going to say her name in case the first one you want to read the first one, because I feel like if you know something, then it is a bit of a spoiler for the first book. But she finds this dog, and the dog's owner happens to be like this up and coming musical artist, and he's away, so he has her look after his dog, and then they start talking and things go from there. Next book is part of another interconnected contemporary romance series. Don't worry, I have all sorts of genres on this list, but this is the fifth and final book in the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. This is Hopeless. I started this series last year, so it has taken me a while to get to this one. Yeah, it's about time. I need to, close the circle on this series because she now has an entire other series plus another one coming out, I think early next year or something like that. So I gotta get a move on because I do like this author. She's Canadian. This is a cowboy romance, and this, like I said, this is the last one, which follows the final Eaton brother, which a lot of these books have followed. And I don't know the female character in this, except that it is a age gap. He's like late 30s. She is like 23. He's 35. She's 22 and a virgin. So that should be interesting. I don't know if I've actually read an age gap, but I don't love an age gap. So we'll have to see about that. Actually, no, wait. Didn't Heartless have an age gap? Kind of, I think. So yeah, this will definitely be read. Like the series ones, especially completing series, are definitely like at the top of, this list. Next, I have yet another book in a series, but we are changing lanes. This is a cozy fantasy. This is A Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca Thorne, and it is the second book in the Tomes and Tea series. These are not standalones. You definitely have to read them in order. The first one was called Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, and it was adorable. So you can see just the covers of them are everything, and they're really soft. I read the first one when did I read it? In September. Very much enjoyed it. It is a sapphic romance, but the couple is already together and already been together for a year or two when the book starts, so you're just kind of growing with them, which was actually really refreshing, I found, for them to already be together. And this couple kind of leaves the lives they were leading to run away together and open this like cafe bookstore, and it's just so sweet. And they go on adventures, and this one I feel like is going to be even more adventurous. And I feel like because they're so cozy that this is the perfect time to continue it. There are 4 books, I think, out in the series right now. And next, you guessed it, we're continuing yet another series. This one is full on, well, I was gonna say full on fantasy. I actually wouldn't call it that. I would call it more historical fiction adventure with a touch of fantasy. This is the Assassin's Creed series, and I read the first one again in August. Really enjoyed, like not the most well-written thing ever, but I really enjoyed the story of it. It incorporates actual historical figures and historical events while we follow Ezio seeking revenge on his family, and he learns like all of this background stuff that like his family was into that he didn't know. So this is the second one, Brotherhood. Looking forward to get back into this. It should be like a quick, easy read, fun adventure. All right, and now we get into a couple standalones. First, we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I got this book as a gift from my mom years ago because I asked for it as a gift. I really wanted to read it, and I still really want to read it. I don't know why I haven't got around to this, because everything about this just screams right up my alley. I love like dark circus vibes. I don't know what it is, but that draws me in. So yeah, everything about this book I just need to get to. It is I think it's kind of like a dark fantasy, and there's also romance. Yeah, there's magic, and it is a standalone. So yeah, I'm just very interested in it. When did it come out? 2011. Honestly, I love that. I want to start reading more books from like before 2019-ish. And it has a very pretty cover. Another standalone I have. This is a novella. This is Annie Bot by Sierra Greer. This one has just really stuck out to me. It is about a sex bot who begins to become sentient, and I think maybe goes against her master, or I don't know exactly, but I've heard that people bawl their eyes out while reading this, that it makes a big impact, and it's very kind of scary and dystopian. So I think it's going to be a very fascinating and interesting read, while also, yeah, maybe being terrifying. And I think it's going to be a lot darker than I expect it to be. And yeah, it's really short. I think it's less than, just over 200 pages. And the remaining books on my 10 Before the End are now starting new series. So fingers crossed I can finish or at least continue some of those other series before I start these. Otherwise, I will be kicking myself for being in the middle of so many series. This book is, I think, really the only like new release I have on this list. This is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, which came out like a couple months ago, I believe. I have read her duology, One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I read that a couple months ago. Absolutely loved. Dark, gothic, fantasy. Ate them up. So I'm hoping for similar vibes with this one. I've heard very good things about it. I think this is going to be a duology too, which is really nice. I love a good duology or trilogy. They're such like the perfect length. You don't feel like overwhelmed going into them with like 6 books or something. And it's not that long either. This just says, comes a gothic mist-cloaked tale of a young prophetess who is forced on an impossible quest with the one knight whose future she cannot see. I don't have much else to say about that except that I'm excited to start it. And because that book just came out, the second one is obviously not out yet and probably will not be for a while. Next, we have Empire of Shadows by Jacqueline Benson, and this is book 1 in the Raiders of the Arcana. I think this book is so unique. I'm obsessed with the cover. It's giving adventure. I think it takes place in the 20s or something. The bottom here says Empire of Shadows is the first book in her smart, swashbuckling Raiders of the Arcana series. Read it now and dive into a rip-roaring historical fantasy adventure. That's all I need to hear. I just think this is going to be such a good time. One of my amazing channel members and subscribers over on my ASMR channel, Erin, got this for me because it was on my wish list and I've been dying to get to it. I know there is a second book out in this series. I'm not sure if that's it or it's continuing, but this is definitely very high up. And then lastly, the final 2 books that I would like to get to before the end of the year are 2 books that have been on my TBR the longest, like some of the longest on my TBR, like period. The first one is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is the first book in the, oh god, what is the trilogy called? The something Air trilogy. Oh my god, I should know this. Why doesn't it say? Oh, it has a really cool map in it. But yeah, I don't know. I have almost all of Holly Black's books. I don't know why I haven't gotten into her yet. I feel like I'm really going to enjoy her books. So it is freaking time. If I don't start this series and the next series, the last book, before the end of the year, I will scream. But this is a fantasy trilogy with a subplot of romance, which I am very excited about. I prefer fantasy over romance, and it is YA. So yeah, it's time. And then finally, another trilogy, which also, like The Cruel Prince, has some additional books added onto it, I think, is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is another YA series. I actually don't know if this is fantasy or not, or if it's just kind of adventure mystery. But I have read her other series, which I forget the name of, but this is it. It is a YA thriller series, kind of Criminal Minds-esque, and I ate that up. So I'm really hoping I'm going to enjoy this because this is full of like riddles and secrets and that kind of stuff, which I think is really fun. So I'm hoping that I'm going to enjoy this one. It is YA, so like I'm expecting that going into it, for it to be kind of simple and easy to read. So I feel like if I know that going in, then it won't be like, oh my god, this is too YA, if you know what I mean. So I do think I will get through it quickly. It looks like it has very short chapters. Okay guys, that is my 10 before the end. Let me know in the comments below what your 10 before the end is, or just any books in general that you would like to get to before the end of 2025. If you are not yet, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you do not miss an upload, and give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed. I have lots of videos coming shortly, and I hope to see you there. Go take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!